No, I don't know what a straw band is. What does that mean?
Really? Straw band? It is United States Southern rock band.
I think we said they were bands between American bands between like 1978 and 1982, and there's a lot of leeway there.
Like Southern rock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I've never heard straw band. I've heard Southern rock.
I think
like
I don't
Molly
know
Hatchet,
Yeah, Molly Hatchet would
Leonard
be one.
Skinner,
Yeah, Leonard Skinner, 38 Special.
38 Special.
Yeah. And then it wasn't just Southern, though. Like Boston would be considered one.
I never heard straw band before.
Well, I think straw band was something that the what is our fantasy football Jeff, our fantasy football partner, who has the agent that comes to the draft. I was just trying not to.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he's the one that came up with straw band. I don't know where he came up with that.
Which we're all going to come with 5 agents next.
Yeah.
I think we need to ban the consultant.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. But,
Well, look,
anyway, that's where straw band came
I
from.
disagree with that. I think that if somebody wants to split their account,
Split their winnings if they have any.
whatever, if they want to split the opportunity to be part of the Astro Pansies, then they buy it.
But is that what this is?
You know what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
If he's just there to make sure he does a good job,
he's just a coworker. I mean, it's
right.
not like he hired him from Vegas to come down.
well, maybe he's an
Actually,
expert.
he's from Vegas.
Maybe this
from
guy's an
Vegas.
expert. Maybe he's a guru.
Look,
he won last year.
Yeah, but he fucking sucked
Every year
huge
before that.
dicks, like for 3 years.
This is like the third draft, and they were horrible.
Yeah, I think.
Before that.
I don't know. I don't agree with it.
Well, I don't agree with not being able to,
my God.
in the middle of the season
We're
with
not-
IR
We're
picks.
not doing this. We are not having
you
a
know
rules
what?
debate about fantasy football
But here's
right
the
now.
deal, man. It's wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Why should I have my guy that's on injured reserve affect my normal week-to-week draft or normal
if
week-to-week
that
pick?
bothers you, go join another league where they can just pick up whenever they
Okay,
want.
so look.
If you're going to be with
this
the
is-
elite boys,
No, this is not the elite. Look.
this is the elite.
This
team.
is elite, but here's the
This is the
point.
elite
My
league.
point is that why I can't even bring it up for discussion.
No,
Why?
because I said so.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
I'm one
very
of the
very
founding
of you.
members. I'm one of the founding members, so I get that kind of vote. How about that? I get veto power.
Yours works.
I have Batwing's veto power.
I disagree. I think that if a player goes on IR, I don't care where you're at, what time, you should be able to instantly drop him and instantly pick up. Suck a dick.
So we're going to have an elders committee board meeting.
Well, okay.
And if I even suggest
if the
that we boot the
beginning-
Batwings from the league,
Well, I'm the oldest one,
If the
so I get the
beginning
most.
of the
no, it doesn't work that way.
if the
You have to be
beginning
up
of the
elder.
week,
You said
like you
elder.
can't pick up like after the first day, like let's say there's a Thursday night game. All right.
Uh-huh,
Well, you
uh-huh.
can't pick up after that, obviously,
if they played.
if they played. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just saying,
You
if
can
there's
pick up somebody, but they have
Oh,
not.
so
They
but-
could not have played.
Yeah, I agree. That's why. I just disagree. I think that if you have two players that get hurt, in an IR, I don't think it should affect your opportunity to be able to get another pick.
I think you need to reorder some Vagisil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went there.
So Vagisil and fishing trips.
Hey, that happens to be at the top of the list of our topics tonight.
Yeah.
Does Vagisil fix fish?
Well, what I do think
Symptoms?
is that it's a good lubricant to put on your hook for you to be putting the bait on.
Well, it's not a lube. It's
not
for
a lube at
yeast.
all.
Wow.
Is
Well,
it
I'll
for
tell you,
yeast? No, it isn't.
I
don't
enjoy
know.
going fishing.
I don't use it.
we have a fishing
I'm glad
hole.
you don't know.
We have a fishing hole that's within a mile of all of our houses.
Do they have any musky lunge in there?
I don't think
Is
they
it-
have
is
any
it-
musky lunge, but they do have largemouth bass.
Is this your little neighborhood, like,
Yeah, it's
stock
right down the
pond?
street.
Dude, it's a stocked pond.
Yeah, but little tiny little fish
No.
that you always have to
Yeah.
throw back.
They do have a
And
few
they
of those.
They have 3 eyes.
Producer,
know if you'd eat
producer,
anything
back
out of
me
that.
up on this. Have we not pulled out 24-plus inch bass out of that bad boy?
No way.
Yes.
No way.
2 foot.
Producer,
This
back
big.
me up.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
big.
That's 30. That's 28 inches.
Yeah, damn. That's
Okay,
I
24.
was going to say
That's
that's
24.
That's a long ass 24
Yeah.
inches there, bro. I don't know
He's
what
like,
you're.
I caught a fish this big.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of measuring stick you're using. And, or like,
Now,
you know,
the point is that there are it's a great fishing hole.
You're not gonna have 24-inch bass. That's like a 6
there's
pound
no
bass.
way.
7
Yeah,
pound
there's
bass.
man.
no way. I call bullshit
No.
on a 24-inch bass.
That's like a 4-foot deep pond.
There are certain areas of that pond that are deeper than that. I don't know exactly where, but
Like 5.5.
maybe 4.5. I don't know, man.
Well,
I know that
it all depends. It all depends
Emily
on how
has
stocked
pulled
it is.
out
But,
some catfish that are huge. All right, and we've had a couple bass that were pulled
but you
out of
don't
there.
keep them. You always.
Oh
throw
no,
'em
we
back.
always put it back in there. But the thing is that it's fun.
It is fun. Oh,
It's fun to
fishing-
go out there.
Fishing is fun. I used to have a lot more fun when I was younger, and the
When
thought
I
of it.
was
the-
younger,
Well, the thought of it, fishing
I
now
used to
just
go
doesn't.
fishing.
Oh no, I love fishing.
Doesn't
I went
grab-
fishing all the
love
time.
fishing.
Me and my buddy
Sounds like a
Jeff.
song.
Wow.
Me and my buddy Jeff, we'd go out to
Oh, you had a friend named Jeff?
sushi. Yes,
Oh,
His real name
Is
is
that
Jeff,
racist?
his real name is Jeff.
but he goes by Sushi.
yeah. Well, he's
Correct.
Asian.
He's
Why
half-
don't you go
he's-
by Brisket?
He's half Japanese. We didn't have brisket in Ohio.
You like that?
We didn't have.
Hi, my name's Brisket, and here's my buddy Sushi.
Yeah,
And
I'm Weeble Wobble.
Yeah, we didn't have brisket in Ohio when I grew up, which is I never had that until I moved down here. Anyway, we used to go fishing all the time at a place up in Ohio called Cowan Lake,
Cowan Lake.
and we'd sit there. Sometimes we just fish off the dock and get panfish, bluegill, and we'd sit there and
Bluegill.
just
Yeah, that was the best. Yeah, I mean,
Did
as
you-
a
did you
kid,
used
yeah.
to cook them up right then and there?
We'd have fish fries every now and then. Yeah, if we caught big enough ones, we'd keep them, and if we get enough of them, we'd fry them up. If not, we'd end up letting them go. If we just got one or two of them, we'd let them go. But if we got like 6 or 7, because those bluegill, you'd have to get 6, 7, 8 of them to have any
Sure.
kind of meal, if
That's
not more.
pretty fucking lame.
So it's
And,
interesting. So when we went to Wisconsin, and we used to fish up there, and they used to tell stories.
Yeah, we used to go to the Great Lakes.
Well,
The
it
Great
was
Lakes,
it,
too.
it wasn't Great Lakes,
Yeah.
but it was Chano Lakes in Waupaca, Wisconsin. You guys have heard me talk about going up there, right?
No.
Oh well, it's one of those. It's my summer home. Anyway, so we fish up there, and they do have bluegill, but they talk about what the lakes used to be like, and they were like overflowing with bluegill, and they were gigantic.
So this was not Lake
Yeah.
Michigan.
And no, this is Waupaca, Wisconsin. Waupaca.
Oh, he was looking up Cowan Lake. Yeah, Cowan Lake right there.
Anyway, but so were there a lot of bluegill?
Oh yeah,
A ton of bluegill?
ton. I
And they
you-
were gigantic?
You put little mealworms on
When
there.
you were little or like now? Was it
Well, I was a teenager,
my
so I was
point
driving out there.
is it overfished now?
Oh, I haven't been there in 30 years.
See that so my grandfather was talking about when he fished as a boy, it was like out of control, gigantic bluegill. Tons
Hold
of
on,
them.
there's no
Now-
lake by
now there's-
Waupaca, Wisconsin.
Waupaca. Waupaca. Waupaca, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but the
There's
lake
all
out
kinds of
there is
lakes out
part of
there.
Lake Michigan.
No. It's Chano Lakes. Minor Lake. Waupaca, Wisconsin. Chano Lake.
Yeah, I mean the bluegills were.
No,
Nope.
Chain O Lakes. And it's beautiful. And there's like 9 lakes that are all connected through little channels. It's amazing. Channel Lakes.
There's like a Simcoe lake.
Is that it right there?
It's Minor Lake. I mean, what's wrong with you guys? No, that's not it. That's Texas, Gulf Coast, Texas. What's happening? Have you guys ever used the internet before? The World Wide Web?
Anyways,
You guys should.
so you were out in your tier 1 fishing program out there in Wisconsin.
Did you have a
and-
yacht?
Do you have a yacht out there?
So we have. What's interesting is we have a ton of history there. My grandmother was born there
How come we
Oh.
haven't been there yet?
and married there. My
Oh.
mother was she married there? And I used to vacation there every summer from when I was a little kid. And my parents would rent, right? I don't own anything here. And can you imagine if they had just
Bought something.
bought something? I mean, literally, they are vacationing there every year for 30 years. Why? And their grandmother, my grandmother was born there. Why not buy something? You know what it's worth now? A lakefront property, $2 million, $3 million,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
and they could have bought it for probably $25,000.
I'm
Yeah,
in.
Yeah.
it makes you sick to your stomach.
I mean, there's places
Yeah.
around here you have to get pretty far out that you can find that.
Yeah,
It's getting harder and harder and harder.
yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, it's beautiful. There are a bunch of quiet lakes. They're all connected together. You get on a pontoon boat and you putt through all these lakes.
Yeah, that type of fishing's kind of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
There was in fact, you and I went out to Lake
Texoma.
Texoma.
Oh,
My
that
wants to be
was
brother-in-law,
so much fun.
Mr. Mark. Mark was like, he had a house out there in Pottsboro.
Yes,
This is
sir.
the paintball house.
Yeah, it's the paintball house.
Yeah,
So
that's
we've
right.
got we mentioned that in one of the podcasts. So we ended up it was Mark, Paul, and I, and we went out to go and fish at Lake Tahoe. Oh, God damn it! What is it called?
Texoma.
Lake Texoma.
We got a guide.
And there was a guide. And
I mean, that's when you you're guaranteed to catch fish because
yeah,
they know
well,
exactly
I mean, when you
where
go
to
out
go.
there, he's kind of, hey man, look, you're guaranteed it because these guys right there, they take care of the lake. So when I say that, it's because when you go out there and you catch the fish, they gut the fish and they right there and there.
Well, they do
And-
everything for you. Yeah.
Well, they do everything. But my point by bringing that up, that they do everything for you, is regarding the gutting of the fish. Is they put it back in the lake, so to help the ecosystem out.
Meaning
so it feeds the fish.
Yeah. So I mean, there's
So
just
they're cannibals.
I don't remember them.
oh yeah.
So the fish are
I
cannibalistic.
remember them taking it back to this flat metal thing, and that's where they measured them and trimmed them up. And
Yeah, that was on the dock.
oh, and then they take all the guts and throw them back in the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
they
I was
slice and
envisioning
dice
like
everything
doing it
out,
on
and
the boat.
they were throwing it back in the lake, and you
Kind
know,
of like
just,
chum.
Yeah, just chum. And I mean, but I mean, I thought it was cool. But the point is that but that didn't happen. Like the time that Paul and I went out there with
Oh, it was
with Mark,
beautiful. It was
this
77 degrees.
No, it was not. It was
And no wind.
what time of the year was this? Was this like November?
It probably had to be mid-January.
Well, whatever we were out there.
Why would
Considering
you
it
do
was
this?
19
Well,
degrees.
look, because
with
it
gale
was
force
it was
winds.
supposed to be cold, but
Oh.
you know what? You still catch fish in the cold, and we had an opportunity to go, and so we did.
And it's always
And-
worse on the water.
Oh,
Oh, my
God. We got
God.
out. First of all, Numbnuts here.
Oh, my
he
God.
wait, okay. When you go and
He's in
fishing,
parachute pants and a wife beater.
dude, it's like when you go fishing, you gotta you're getting on a boat. There's gonna be
Yeah.
high winds. There's gonna be a little water that pops up. You gotta be prepared for that. You know, so
Yeah.
you wear clothes that are gonna retard the water coming into. He wears like this cotton zip up hoodie.
I
that-
was horribly
So,
unprepared.
It was
and
so
statistically,
he's sitting
it
in the
should
back.
have killed me.
he's sitting in the back, right? And so we're driving all over the way, and I'm dressed appropriately, and Mark is dressed appropriately, and there Paul is. He's got his arms crossed, and he's
Okay.
shivering, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Time out.
Oh.
Time out. You put me at the fucking front of the boat where all the water was splashing on me,
It-
and I don't care what
You-
you were wearing.
when
When there's icicles hanging off your fucking nose,
You may have started off there, but there were many
Oh
places for you
my
to sit. It
God.
wasn't a 5-man boat. This was like an 8-man boat. You could have chose anywhere.
no, it was
And-
not. Oh my God, this is all lies.
So
and
Paul,
I just sat there.
the guy was like, "Well, you know what?
shivering.
It's just not happening today." So we were out there for about an hour. I think hour and a half at the very most. I think we didn't last an hour and a half. We were out there for about an hour, and
You were probably getting cold.
I was cold, but I wasn't going to say anything because once you stop the boat, things kind of get a little bit better, and then you can go fishing. But we couldn't catch anything, and he was trying every place that we could to go, and he was just like, "Hey, man, after." And I look back at Paul, and Paul, first of all, is wet.
Hypothermia, full blown, full blown hypothermia.
His lower mouth was shivering uncontrollably.
I was like,
His
back to the dark.
his wannabe mustache
Was he shivering? Was his
looked like it had frozen cum stains for the
okay,
last 10
all
years all over.
Yeah,
it.
that part.
It was
Not
it was
necessary.
horrible.
It was.
Yeah, it
awful.
was awful. But you know what?
It was one of the most uncomfortable moments. I'm not kidding. Most uncomfortable, temperature moments of my life.
Did you have gloves?
At this point, I'm thinking I may have been naked. because that's how uncomfortable I was.
He may have been better off.
I may
just
not have
hopping
had. I
in
may
the
not have
water.
had anything on. I may have just been like a nudist.
It was like,
was it a nudist fishing deal?
had it not been for Mark and I taking turns pissing on you, you probably would have got
shut
hypothermia.
Were you turtling?
Oh my god, it was awful. It was awful. I think.
How about I tell you what? When we came
I think
back,
3 months it came out.
there is something.
Took 3 months for it to pick its head
Yep,
back
it
up.
came back out.
There's something about
Like, is it safe?
you know, fresh fish. When people say fresh fish, you know, you don't really think about it. Fresh fish. Okay, go right there. Fresh fish. Fresh fish. These guys, because when we went back and we caught, because we did catch, we caught
Stripers.
our
Stripers are big up there.
Yeah,
right?
It was
big-
striper. That's
the
what we
striper.
got.
They were huge. There were also gray catfish, blue catfish, and
Steelheads.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a
Two-
catfish.
We got some big tuna that day. I think.
There was a
Some
couple
ahi tuna?
swordfishes
Yes,
out
some
there.
mahi
Were you
tuna.
swimming next to it?
Here we were.
Who was out there like frolicking with the tuna?
Why? No, why the body gyrations there? What?
Well, you're swimming in
Oh, no,
with
no.
it.
What? I don't know what you do swimming next to fish, but
Well, these fish were north of, they were right around the God bless it, the pilot, the board, the
Oh, yeah,
guy that was in charge of the boat.
Steelhead's a trout.
He was
The guy.
really-
Salmon.
The guy was stringent with the
you're struggling.
rules. You know, so we would get a fish and it had to fit within that 2 foot mark.
yeah.
Because if we caught over 24 inches, he would throw it back. If we caught under 20 inches, he would throw it back. So
Really too big, they throw it back. I don't remember that
yeah.
part.
No, there was a couple big ones, but he was like, "No, it was too big, and he'd throw it back."
Why would there ever
Why
be
would
a
it be too big?
big?
Maybe it was pregnant. I don't know, but
I can
Yeah.
see that if
I
it was
remember-
pregnant with a bunch of roe.
but so anyways, we catch our fill pretty quick. I think we have allowed 10 or 12 fish a piece. And so when you're in the boat, it's kind of like he goes out there, he baits all the hooks. So
We actually got a rain check that we never cashed in on. I
Let's
think.
cash it in.
No, I think we did cash it in.
Well, I wasn't invited to the
Interesting. Did you
return
pay?
trip. Yeah, of course.
Interesting. So you never got paid back?
Yeah, I got screwed on that deal.
Huh.
Well, I think we should plan on doing that this spring.
I think that'd be great. Actually.
There's no reason why we should, because it's a lot of fun. What I'm
It's like an
driving
hour
to,
and a half away.
I'm going to wear 10 layers.
what I'm trying to
And I don't
drive
care
to
how hot
is
it is.
the fact that we can when you get to the dock and they take all your fish and they gut it right then and there,
Yeah,
and they
prepare
put it
everything.
in Ziploc bags, and we immediately go straight to the house
and fry
and
'em up.
we immediately fry them.
Yeah.
They taste fluffy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They-
it's wonderful.
Yeah, lots of butter, lots of the unhealthy stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of butter and salt.
Marinade and bourbon.
Oh, well,
Nice bourbon fish.
I like where that's going.
Yeah, I know.
Bourbon
I know
fish.
one of the. I used to go fishing all the time, and we'd go. I remember for family vacation we went up to Canada
Nice.
and to
Did you go down the Niagara Falls in a barrel?
while fishing.
Yeah, well, they
No.
did that
Yeah,
too.
they say that's the best fish.
Didn't do that. We went up through Michigan, went over
Me too.
Mackinac Island, not Island, but the bridge, and went to Sault Ste. Marie,
Where-
Canada.
Where is that? Help me here. I don't know anywhere in these places are.
So Michigan, if you think of Michigan, it's kind of tall, right? It looks like I don't know,
It looks like a mitten.
like a mitten, right? So it's
Yeah, it's a mitten.
So the Mackinac Bridge, I think, is one of the longest bridges in the U.S., if it's not the longest in the U.S. And it bridges across one of the Great Lakes. I think Lake Superior and one other one.
It's Lake Michigan and Lake Huron.
Okay. And once you go over there, I don't know if it's Michigan on the other side or Canada on the other side. I can't remember. But we went up into Canada and came down and stayed at Sault Ste. Marie. And we had a cabin, and
Nice.
we were up there for a week. My mom and my sister hated it, right? Because
Because it's guy stuff.
it's guy shit, right? They didn't want to fish, and there's really nothing to do out there except
It's interesting that bridge you were referring to is 4 miles exactly.
yeah, it's
4 miles long?
It's really
Yeah,
long.
it's
No,
to the north.
It's at the very top of the Michigan.
North.
And-
There's Mackinac City. Yeah, right
Yeah,
to
Sault
the
Ste.
right,
Sault
right.
Ste. Marie, right there. You see it up there.
And you know
right,
what's crazy?
up, right, down, right,
Right
there.
there.
Zoom in. Boom. That's the actual bridge right there, Mackinac Bridge.
And you know what's crazy? North of Wisconsin is Michigan.
Yep.
I had no idea. We were so far north in Wisconsin, we were going to go to Walmart, and we went to, and it said, "Welcome to Michigan." was like, how was that possible?
And
Yeah.
you see that
I thought it was Canada.
You see that Mackinac Island over there, Paul?
I see it.
That's where Somewhere in Time was filmed.
Oh, okay.
go.
So it has those big, like a mansion.
Yes,
white mansions.
That's exactly where that's at. Anyway, so we went up there,
Oh,
and
very nice.
we didn't get I think we got a boat. Me and my dad and sister would go out, just a little bitty motor on the back,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd go out. And
Putting around.
I remember catching some northern pike.
In the Great Lake?
Yeah, we'd go.
Oh, my God.
We were in Sault Ste. Marie, which is up in Canada. So we'd go out, and I caught some northern pike, which are,
Those can get big.
well, these are probably 2 feet long. They weren't huge,
Okay.
but it was big enough. So we caught them. Yeah, they weren't near that size.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
And-
those are gigantic.
Yeah, and but they got teeth on them.
Oh, they can kill you.
Even at 2 feet long, they have teeth. But we, I probably had, I think I caught 2 one time and a couple another time. So we had 4 or 5 of them. And I remember my dad filleting him. He didn't know what he was doing, right?
He did not.
No. Well, he wasn't a fisherman or anything like that.
So he was just kind of winging it.
Well, he was cutting it and gutting it. My sister was down there watching him. I was watching him as well. And she refused to eat it
Oh, yeah. No, I got
because she saw how it started.
Right. Oh, yeah.
All the guts that he was pulling out of it,
Oh, yeah.
all the blood everywhere because he wasn't clean or anything about it.
Right.
He wasn't a professional. So, yeah, she refused to eat dinner that night. She goes, I'm not eating that.
She just starved.
She had rice. I don't know.
I mean, that's no different than my wife not refusing to eat elk.
Well, she didn't see you gut that.
Well, true, but it's not something you see at the grocery store.
Right. That's just like cow.
Well, you
I
see
know,
salmon
but
at
I
the
know,
grocery
but it's
store. You guys don't
mental.
eat that.
It's mental,
Yeah.
right? But you're right. I mean, that's a little different when she sees the animal being prepared
Right.
and
To go back to the fishing point, I tell you that was from my memory, like a dudes like us moment. I look back and I think that's some of the funniest visuals was looking back at Paul and how miserable he was with the frozen mustache.
Well,
You don't
laughing at him?
understand how cold it was. It was unbelievable.
I felt for him, but I didn't. I knew he was cold. But when I had looked back for one of the last times, and he was like,
I was shivering, literally shivering uncontrollably.
It
And
was like,
I
wow.
almost just said goodbye to you guys and rolled off into the water.
Right. Right.
Because
Look how big those northern pike. The producer
they're
pulled up a couple
huge.
of northern pike on
They
there.
look like eels.
Yeah.
Like big, fat, giant eels.
They're very big. Pull up muskie. Those get about twice that big.
What's
Yeah,
a
really.
muskie?
They look very similar to that. MUSKI. There it is. They get even bigger than that. Muskie lunch.
Wow.
Yeah, musky fish.
Oh, there's 2 people holding it.
Yeah, those get even bigger.
That's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It must be difficult to pull that thing out of the water.
I mean, look at that thing.
That thing's got to be strong.
I wonder if it's a meat eater.
It's got teeth. I can tell you that. It's got big old teeth up. Look at that. You can see the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, actually, what I'm really going to say is will it attack humans?
Well, that's. Do you want your feet dangling down there
No,
with
I
a
don't.
fucking 4-foot musky lunge?
I mean, if it's not
Coming
going to
around?
do anything, I
Oh,
mean,
is it?
I don't.
I've had my feet dangling in lots of water, that nothing has ever happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're lucky.
Maybe.
And
Have
look
you
at- look at
guys
that
ever
thing.
done offshore fishing?
No, never have.
No.
I'd like to.
I've always wanted to. I've gone out way out in the docks and fished off the piers and stuff, but
Get any sharks?
no.
Did you catch anything?
So I didn't tell you guys my one offshore
I
fishing
caught a
experience,
fluke.
huh?
Is
What?
it called a fluke?
Fluke's a worm.
Is it one? What's the one-sided? It's a
Flounder?
surgeon. Fuck.
A flounder?
Hold on. What I
Or
thought
the-
it was
or
called a
A
fluke.
great white.
You caught a great white off the piers of
Would you
Galveston.
like me to share my one offshore fishing story while you're
Oh,
looking
that's
that up?
exactly what it was. It was a fluke fish,
A
and we
fluke?
caught that off the piers.
Fluke?
Oh,
off
there
of-
it is on the screen.
Yep.
Fluke
Yeah.
fish. Oh,
Yeah.
flounder. That's flounder.
That's a flounder, isn't it?
Well, they called it fluke.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Flounder's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no, it's supposed to be really good.
It is.
Flounder. Yeah.
So we caught that off of in Connecticut when we were out there. And that's right off the dock too, so it wasn't horribly
So you
bad. But
okay? So you You fished in the ocean, but off the dock.
Correct. Yeah, I've never.
Flukes are very similar. Look at that. I've never heard of that.
I've wanted to. I've always wanted to.
Very similar.
And there are boats that we can champion anytime. I have some contacts.
Where at?
The Gulf.
Like Biloxi or Texas area?
Both. Well, Mississippi, Biloxi, most likely.
We need to.
I have.
I get so frustrated because I listen to these podcasts and we have all these plans. We need to fucking do it because I'm all in on that.
I know.
We need to put a pin on the fucking calendar and knock it out.
That'd be great,
Paul.
All right. So the one time, what? So the one time, the one time I went. So
What?
I had my best friend from high school. His father had a boat, and so
Was it a dinghy?
No, I mean it was a 20 something foot boat. I mean not gigantic, but I mean
Out in the ocean.
20 foot's not very big.
Well, I know, but plenty big enough for 4 of us to fish off of it. And we went far enough out. I mean, we didn't go off the continental shelf, but we went far enough out into the Gulf where we tethered to an oil rig that was
so what is
not
the continental
operational.
shelf?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how many miles you have to go out, but I mean.
So when you
That's
go
where it
over the
drops.
continental shelf, that means when it drops. And
Oh
then,
yeah, and
so
it goes,
that means there's no real fish around.
no, there are fish and they're gigantic, like massive.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's where the big shit lives.
That's where the big shit is. Yes. Anyway, but we went far enough out, like to where you can't see anything in any direction.
So it's got to be right on the shelf. So it's got because they go up and down that shelf all the time.
Right.
As part of their.
And so he tethered to an oil rig that was no longer operational. Right. There was nothing. It was like a platform flat on the top, and everything on the top of it was gone. Right.
Oh, cool.
It was cool.
Could you climb on it?
No, we didn't. But I will tell you, it had this annoying bong, bong, bong.
That's a bell.
Oh, it was awful. And we were rocking, and I got sick, so sick. But I ate jerky and it saved me. But anyway, so we're fishing.
So
fishing.
you had one of your friends named Jerky with you?
No, I will tell you, if you ever feel seasick, eat jerky. Because I don't know what the magical thing about it was, but it went away instantaneously when I started eating jerky.
Interesting. So it's probably the high salt content.
I would want to test
know.
that again. You should test that again.
I'm going to test that when we go out.
Dude,
anyway,
I'm
so
bringing
we were
15 pounds
fishing
of jerky.
We were fishing king mackerel. All right, and these things are, I mean, I don't know what would you say, 3 feet?
Yeah, I don't know.
3 feet, and they're about, if you can see my hands, they're about this.
So they're like
big
tubes.
around. And these things are strong fish. I mean, they're slender, really strong fish. King mackerel. Yeah, that's what they were. And so here we are fishing, right? Boom, 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 boom. And I mean, a school came by, and it was like, wha-bam, wha-bam, wha-bam. All 3.
Our producer says he's people. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. A school came by, and all 3 rods went ba-bam, 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 right? And so I'm holding mine, and I'm like, oh, shit. I mean, I've fished before, not something this big, but I'm like, wow, this thing's kind of, I'm digging into my shoulder, and the other one's like, we're going to cross lines. Pull your, where people are kind of scrambling on the boat.
Like,
and I'm scrambling, and they're like, okay. And so I'm working, and it dives under the boat, and my rod's like completely bent over.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, what's going on? And they're like laughing at me because I'm struggling with the rod and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like going, okay, I got, and you don't want to seem like a total pea.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I got this guy, it's fine. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, we finally get the thing up. I have hooked it through the dorsal fin. The fin on the top of the fish.
I'm trying to envision how you did that.
Exactly. Well, because it was a school of fish, and it was just, they came swinging by, and a dorsal fin got my hook.
Grazed
and
it.
this fish was just like, fuck
it
you.
had full mobility, no pain.
Right.
So and that's what the guy said. He was like, my friend's father said, well, no wonder you hooked it through the dorsal fin. I was like, oh my God. I had a bruise underneath my armpit and how hard I was working to get that thing out. Anyway, it was amazing. It was they were big.
Did you eat it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we ate it. Wasn't that good?
You don't like fish,
They didn't
though.
saute very much.
Yeah, we brought it back to the house, and his father knew exactly what to do. Split it all open, cut it into. It's almost like a loin, right?
Yeah.
When they cut it straight up and down, you know what I mean? Like, and it was like little horseshoes.
Our own producer went fishing,
And it wasn't that great.
Where did you go,
deep fry
Austin?
it, or do you bake it?
I think he baked it like on the grill. Just
Yeah.
grilled it. You just grilled it.
Like a back
So
roll
you
steak?
said it was like a loin because really they are. They're very meaty.
Well, I'm just saying loin because when you have a long, skinny piece of meat, beef or pork, you cut it. You cut it vertically.
like a chop.
Yeah, right. And that's what they did. They didn't like cut fillets out of it or anything.
It's
They
like a
just
steak
literally.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that with certain kinds of fish.
Yeah.
I buy the canned mackerel
Okay.
at Kroger. If you ever
That's a
gotten
little
that.
different.
Yeah, we should do a canned meat night.
We should do a canned fish night.
We've already done the canned
that
meat
was
night.
a disaster.
No, it was a success.
It was fun, but it was
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to limit our canned meat night to Spam.
Spam is so good.
And oysters.
That I love.
Mm.
I love Spam.
Yeah, I'm all in for fishing trips, whether it's on the coast or up at Mackinac Island.
Yeah. So what does that mean that you have a
Mackinac
hookup?
Island.
You have a hookup. What does that mean?
Well, I've got two hookups. One is a lifelong friend.
Okay.
His name is Will, and he's from South Texas, and he goes on large fishing trips all the time. He invited me a lot, and I'd never gone. It's not that I don't want
we need
to.
to
It's
catch
just about
grouper.
opportunity. And so there's one, and he goes out 3 times a year. Of course,
Now, does he own his own boat, or he?
no, he goes out with a group of guys.
And one
and-
of them has a boat.
I think they charter each time, and
They
there's
charter.
usually a 12-pack of guys.
That's the other thing. We could totally do that. We could.
Yeah.
We don't have to have a guy that knows
No.
knows a guy who
No.
has a
No,
boat.
we could do it ourselves.
We just charter a boat.
A couple $100 piece, and you're out there for the day. We get a hotel room, whatever. We could work out those details. The other contact I have was a contractor, whom I went out there for my job, and
In Alabama, right?
yeah, in Alabama, and he's from Mississippi. And he was just like, because I brought him onto a couple different jobs, and I'm huge on integrity, so I'm like, there's no quick quote pro. I don't need anything. I brought you out here because the demand was high and you were here.
Sure.
So it has nothing. So I never. I think I may just call him up and just say, because he says he has friends that can give me the hookup on because they have big boats. They all have personal big boats that they go out.
That'd be so much fun.
And so I
so
mean,
much fun.
It would be.
And
'cause-
those guys just would love to take out guys that have never done it before.
Yes.
It's like that feeling. They're feeling it all over again because they see
Right.
Yeah.
what we're doing, right? What we're
so
feeling.
that's kind of what I'm doing.
Well, have you talked to this guy in a while?
I talk to him about every couple months.
No,
call him.
absolutely. Call him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll make a point to do it.
Snapchat.
Set something up for the springtime.
Yeah, Snapchat him.
Well, I mean, I don't even know when. I mean, is there a bad time to go fishing?
When
I
it's
don't know.
cold, when it's cold and there's water blowing over the boat and you have
I don't-
icicles hanging from your
I don't think
nose.
that's true, though. I mean, can you
I
go
don't
fishing
know.
in the cold?
On the Gulf?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's seasons. I have no idea.
Well, I think it's always warm in the Gulf, isn't it? No.
I mean, it's always
I
the
don't
same
know.
temperature. The ocean. I mean, the ocean is like
Warming
58
uncontrollably.
degrees.
Fif-
Always.
It's,
58.
it's rising out of control.
No, it's not.
What? Isn't
Glaciers
it warming?
are
Oh,
melting.
you're being a jackass.
I
No,
know.
it's
The polar
58
bears have no homes.
Warm weather is roughly around 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
I don't know.
warm weather's roughly around.
That doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense.
Anyway,
at
I'm all in.
That's what time they went out to go fishing. was
Whether
that
it's
early in the
Lake
morning.
Texoma or down in the Gulf, I'm 100% in. We just need to freaking do it.
We need to make a dudes like us bucket list that
We need a calendar.
that's what I'm saying. And then when we talk about it, we put it on the board.
Well, I thought
Like
we
we've
were
talked
gonna
about.
have our.
Put it
So
on
here
the
we go.
board.
We've talked about
Are,
what.
are we gonna have our 15-minute a week meeting?
Well, hold on. What have we talked about so far? Bourbon Trail.
Bourbon Trail.
We're talking about fishing.
All of
Some
these
sort of
things
fishing.
are absolutely doable.
Okay,
Camping in Paladuro.
Oh, that's happening.
we talked about that one.
I'll go
What-
by
what
myself.
else?
And I just posted one where we talked about where we were in. This is what pissed me off because this kind of set me off. We were so high onto it. We're going to go watch the Frisco Fighters, a football game here locally. We couldn't get to.
PALO.
Season's
Yeah,
over,
But it was
There
a
you go.
long drive, dude. I mean, you got
dude. It's 5 miles from here,
Hey, the
and we
price of gas,
couldn't manage to do
brother.
it.
The price of gas right now.
And you've already
we
got
really-
a T-shirt.
Yes,
I mean,
we
come
can't even
on.
manage to do that.
All right, good point. Point made. Point made.
Because I just listened, I was like, "Son of
You
a
went?
bitch!"
The producer went to a Frisco Flyers game.
Well, he was probably like,
Fighters game.
because we even picked the date out. He's probably like, all right, I'm going to go. And he went.
You a-hole.
didn't
Why
go
didn't you
with us.
invite us? What's wrong with him? Hey, went with a
Well,
friend.
the reality
We're
of
friends.
it is that most dudes like us, our age, are just we're
We get
busy.
We get busy.
We're
Shit happens.
professionally.
No, we're ADHD where we don't forget. We forget.
Well,
But
I think
here's the
that's
point.
part of it.
But here's the point.
But in reality, man,
These
we've got a
things
lot
matter.
of responsibilities.
These things matter. These things are important. You got to take time. Life is short. We have no idea what next month's going to be like.
I could be dead.
That's
Well, any one of us could be.
any one of us
Most
could be
likely
dead.
me.
Oh, be quiet. I don't want to hear that kind of talk. Anyway, so we need to make these things a priority. What else is on the list?
Well, I mean, we did talk about. I mean, I love camping. I love outdoorsy stuff. I'm kind of choked on my opportunities with my family because, well, not necessarily with my kids, mostly my wife, because things beyond her control. She's got that agoraphobia, so she can't do certain things. So
Yeah, she doesn't do long trips.
and it's frustrating, but I've accepted the frustration, and now it's just a matter of anytime I even go do things, it's kind of like I feel guilt
Right.
because I'm kind of like I'd rather do it
without
with
her, you
my
mean?
as I would want to do things and be happy with her. Why and it sucks that I have to piggyback. Don't get me wrong, Jeff. I enjoy going to Lake Tahoe, bringing the boys out there with both you and Julie. I would do it 1,000 times, man. It's fantastic. Yeah, it was
And
just,
you'd run up
It
the
would have
same
been better.
mountain.
It would
I
have
would
been
just,
better with your wife.
Would you hike up the same mountain you did
No, I'll
last
tell you
time?
what. I'll tell you what. If Jeff weren't there, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I mean, the fact that Jeff was there was the only reason we were pushing it to get that done.
I thought you guys are going to have to be care flighted off the top of the
We were
mountain.
close.
I
That's sad.
It was close.
If we do that, and I wasn't invited, but that's fine. If you guys do that again, then you probably should be in better shape. And don't take
care.
the Eagle Rare with you.
No,
I think that
we were drinking.
that's why you struggled.
we did not
had-
struggle
Drank Eagle
because
Rare,
of
you
that.
were
We
out of
struggled
We had
due to
175
lack of oxygen.
Yeah, we had a
And-
175 of
Dude,
bullet.
It was a fucking stairmaster straight up the side of a mountain.
I get it.
All right, this wasn't like a casual goat trail.
No, this was a hardcore climb. It wasn't
Okay,
too
all right, so
casual
what
hike.
else?
Now the boys are just like they were right up there, and I'm like, I hate you. Austin's
Yeah,
wearing
they were
jeans
on a
and-
2-person bicycle going up there together.
Well, they had that was a mistake.
Well,
too.
we get up there, and then Preston and Steven are on like a kayak.
Yeah, we
jumping
get all
off
the
the
way at the
mountain.
top at
yeah,
10,000.
jumping off of cliffs into the water and stuff.
Splitting lips open.
Yeah, Preston is splitting his mouth open.
Yeah, you guys were giving each other mouth to mouth, and well,
And there were a lot of chipmunks up there too, which I thought was cute.
which, by the way, they have signs posted that you shouldn't touch them or feed them because they're
Antivirus.
they're infected with something.
with
the
the
Black
plague.
It's
the
the Black
plague.
Plague. What the what? Oh, yeah, you told me that story. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, the
Thanks,
plague.
Pelosi.
Just what a horrible trip.
Hey, could have been.
Yeah,
Do not touch the
if you do
droppings.
reach the top of the mountain, you're going to get killed by a Black Plague squirrel.
Yes.
So Lake Tahoe, all in all, was beautiful.
There's another fire going on out there.
Pardon?
Okay, what?
There's another fire going on out there.
Yeah, there's always
There was a
going
fire that
on.
we thought was really threatening that area.
Yeah, there's
and then
another one going.
they got lucky.
There was going last week. It's similar area. It's a little
God, it
further
never
north.
ends.
That whole area, they've not taken care of it.
I know.
They have had zero forest control.
management. It's called forest management.
I
They don't believe it's all on the California side.
California too. Yeah. Wait, hold
I'll
on.
tell you what.
Lake Tahoe is in California.
It's half and half.
I will never.
That's where the boundary between Utah and California is.
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada.
That's what I meant. Nevada.
So the
and California.
casinos in Tahoe are on the Nevada side,
Nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
and the
And
fires
that's
are on
not.
the
It's
California
not
side.
being drained like Lake Mead is.
No,
No,
not at all.
Not that I'm aware of. Lake Mead isn't really a lake. Lake Mead was a river or
A reservoir.
Well, it was made into a lake because of the dam, but
Well,
that
that's
lake didn't
well,
exist
that's every
before.
lake in
Yeah.
Texas.
See that line? That's the state line.
Very nice.
So
We were on the south side, I believe, right?
yeah, we were on the California side.
All right. Well, so I want to get back to our bucket list so we don't
South Lake
forget.
Tahoe. That's
So
where we were at.
we were supposed to go to my parents' cabin, and
Why did that happen?
I gave you guys 4 opportunities. I gave you the week, and I reminded you 3 different times. Not 4, but 3 3 different times. I was like, "Are we doing this? Are we doing this?" No response. No response. And no response.
Yeah, I own that. That was on me. I don't know why Sean didn't respond, but
I responded.
No, you didn't.
no, you didn't.
I'm in any time.
You didn't.
Period.
Nobody responded, so I nixed it. No Colorado cabin for you guys.
Yeah,
That happened.
I think there was something
Forever. Forever, ever.
I don't know. I don't
Forever,
know yet. I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
I think the timing
I
was
don't know
weird
yet. I
for
haven't
me.
decided.
Well,
decided.
You need to.
I'm a little emotional about it.
So I have great expectations going out there. I
It's
just
gonna be fun, man.
I mean, you know what? I love nature. I love the tranquility. I love being exposed out there.
You like finding
wait.
socks at the
What do
bottom
you-
of a lake.
What do you
That
mean?
wasn't the highlight of the trip, but I did enjoy the scuba diving and the clarity of it. The south side of the Lake Tahoe is is a lot more cloudy than the north side because it travels from the north to the south.
It's
So
the current.
it really, if you want to go to Lake Tahoe, you really want to play on the north side. It's like the Elephant Butte. Or Elephant Lake.
Whale Cove.
Whale Cove, yeah. Whale Cove was on
'cause the rocks look like a whale.
Yes. It did.
yeah. That's,
Breaching.
it's about 2/3 up on the west side, and I thought that was
Was
really clear.
That was the east side.
Was it the east side?
Yeah. That was the east side.
I have never
Oh.
been to Lake Tahoe.
Well,
It's absolutely
the
beautiful.
short amount of time that I was there,
It was beautiful.
I fell in love with it, man. I could abandon everything and
just-
live there.
Yeah.
So you could
just
you could
like that.
fake your own death and
No, I
move
mean,
to Lake Tahoe.
dude, with my job, I could probably move anywhere.
Yeah, that's Whale
And
Cove right
I would
there.
love to. I mean,
Oh, that's pretty.
if shit hit the fan and I would have to rebuild for some stupid reason, I would absolutely. Lake Tahoe's on the list.
You would do like the Mel Gibson thing where you would get an RV and put it on the beach and just live on the beach.
No, I
Do you remember that?
From
yeah,
Lethal Weapon.
that was Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
would-
that scene where the helicopter comes down the beach and it totally blows up his
Right.
RV. God, I'm just now remembering that scene. That was an awesome scene.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, he was
Was
diving
that
on the
Lethal
floor.
Weapon 4? Was that the one where it
I don't
says
That was
know.
Lethal Weapon 1.
where he? No,
That was the first one.
Where the helicopter blows up his?
Yes. I think it blew up
How
more
do
than.
How do you mentally separate 4 different lethal weapons?
I just
they're
remember
all
that
the
one
same.
specifically.
It's really hard to know what the difference was.
Well,
between
one
the
of them
4.
had Jet Li.
Oh,
Well, that wasn't the first one.
I think it was the third
The first one was like diplomatic immunity.
No, that was the
Was
Fifth
that,
one.
Was that the fifth one?
the one that none of us watched because it was never made.
Right.
What is South America?
No, seriously, that was one of the best ones.
Was it Danny Glover?
Cougarang.
He was kind of like the Cougarang. Yeah, he was like you're
Diplomatic
well,
immunity.
why wouldn't you want to do that? It's because you're black.
Yeah, he goes.
And Joe Pesci was
goes-
like, you
He
are.
goes. What are you doing? He goes. I'm just looking to see if I'm standing on plastic.
There you go.
That was a great movie. That was the
Yeah.
South Africa guy.
Wow.
Sorry, I
so,
derailed it. All right, so you want to
the-
be in an RV on
No,
Lake
I
Lake
didn't say
Tahoe.
I didn't say RV. I would, I'm just saying I wouldn't mind being a vagabond. I mean, I don't care. I don't have the.
I tell you what, the summertime it's beautiful. You would not want to be there in the wintertime.
Oh, it's as cold as balls.
They get feet of snow.
Yeah.
They got
Wow.
10 feet on one weekend.
Well, see, that's what Wapaka's like. I would
Feet.
vacation there. I would
Dude,
vacation
I'm
there
in.
every single summer.
I'm
But
in.
we
I hate
had
to live there.
never been there during the winter in Wapaka, Wisconsin. You know why? Because the lake would freeze.
Imagine
The lake would freeze, and
the
they would have to take their
simplicity of
docks.
life.
They take their docks, and they'd have to put them on the land, right? Don't they have to do that?
I don't know.
I mean, there's 10 feet of snow. I mean, do they shut down the supermarkets?
No, there's more than 10 feet of sno.
When you have
You
that
can't get
much
anywhere.
snow. I mean, do they shut down the supermarkets? You
Well,
can't get anywhere.
Well,
No.
because the houses are up on the mountains.
Yeah.
Right? And
They never shut down. They know
I
people
don't
live
know.
there.
I mean-
People live there, and they deal with the snow and
I
the
mean,
ice.
that's
and
what I'm saying. I mean, you traveling through snowmobile at that point?
could be.
can.
Yeah.
You can absolutely.
I mean, I'm in.
But some of those roads are steep. Some of those roads are steep, and you may be snowed in
in.
for a few days. Anyway,
and I'm
I
in
wouldn't
with
want to
that
live. I wouldn't want to live there in the wintertime. That's a hard pass for me.
Well, but it's not about living there. It's about. Well, so hold on. Have you never gone skiing?
No,
Really?
no. I've been up there in the wintertime, and we've done inner tubing and stuff, but I've never been skiing.
You never okay. Well, but the point is, you can go on winter vacations, and it's miserably cold, but it's still
that's the thing.
Manageable.
Fun.
Vacationing in the snow is one thing.
Okay.
Living there is
not
something
living
else.
There. Not living there.
That's what I'm getting at. I was like, I have no problem visiting someplace like that. I do not want to live there.
Yeah, I got you.
During that time.
We went to Colorado, and
I wouldn't mind living there.
Dude, we went on a snowmobile excursion. It was like a 4 or 5 hour snowmobile excursion. Right. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I bet.
Oh, my God.
I bet you were sore, too.
Actually, no, I don't remember. I don't remember being sore. It was fun, though. It was like follow the leader on trails.
Right.
And then we got to like a little lake. Well, I'm assuming it was a lake because it was incredibly flat. And you said, go to town, have fun. And we just went nuts in circles and went around. And
did you make rooster tails?
I don't know what that is, but probably.
Let's have a bunch of snow coming out the back.
I mean, I almost flipped over, and that would have been painful. Ooh.
Huh.
Yeah. It was
I've
fun.
never been on a snowmobile.
Oh, they're a lot of fun.
Was it like a jet ski?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I would think you would have
seriously.
more control on a snowmobile than a jet ski.
It's very similar.
I don't know. You're
I
on
want to say it's
skis.
very similar.
Your front are skis.
Yeah, but you have wheels in the back that
It's a tread.
yeah, but it's a tread in the back that has contact with the ground, and it has the ability to brake probably as well, right?
It does. It does.
And
I don't know. I've done the jet skis.
I've done the jet skis.
I've never done a
they're very
snowmobile.
unforgiving.
Honestly, I've done both, and they're not. They're kind of similar. They are kind of similar.
As far as the driving,
keep in mind, on a jet ski, you can go anywhere you want. On a snowmobile, you're usually on a very tight path that's on the kind of on the edge of a cliff or a mountain, and you're winding your way through. You know what I mean? So it's different from that standpoint.
Right.
But
well,
yeah,
I mean,
anyways,
I wouldn't necessarily
winter
want to live
vacations
there,
are great.
but I wouldn't mind being exposed to it for an extended period of time.
Yeah, winter
Just to
vacations
enjoy
are
it.
great.
Yeah.
They're
I wouldn't
fun.
mind it.
Yeah. Snow's good as long as you don't have to work or live in it.
Right. You don't have to shovel it and shit like that. What about you, Sean? Have you not skied? Have you?
I've gone skiing before.
Oh, you gone skiing?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
It's I went skiing in a Fire Cloudcroft.
What?
I said Fire as a Cloudcroft in New Mexico.
Angel Fire.
Angel Fire. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
I was all over the place.
What's Cloudcroft?
Well, hold on. What's Cloudcroft?
I've never heard. That
No,
sounds like Harry Potter or something.
No. Cloudcroft.
I think it is. It's Quibbage or
It's
Squiddage.
Squibbage.
Squattage. It's Skmivage.
Yeah, Cloudcroft is in New Mexico.
Never
It's
heard of
Angel
it.
Fire. I know somebody that has a cabin that owns a cabin that she rents.
Boy,
in
we have so
Angel
many
Fire.
things. We have so many
Yeah,
inns.
so do we.
Yes, and she would totally let me do it. I know exactly who she is. I used
Who?
to work with her.
Well, Tara's cousins both own a
We're so stupid.
I know.
Yeah, we have opportunity.
What is wrong with us? Add that to the bucket list. We need I'm calling it bucket list, but it's really more like a dudes like us list.
Dudes
I'm
list.
not really interested in
dudes
going out
list.
there and skiing though. You know,
Well, you can go during the summer.
no, I mean we can go out there during the wintertime. I'm just what else is there to do besides skiing though? I mean,
Sit in a hot tub and drink bourbon.
Yes. Inner tube.
Go check out the snow bunnies.
Yes. Really.
Really?
Yeah.
What snow bunnies?
Yeah, they're cute little animals. and they jump all over the mountain, and you just kind of watch them.
Then you shoot them and eat them.
What, do you want to eat them first or then shoot them? Or?
Really dark on that deal.
Well, you know.
Wow.
Hassenpfeffer.
All right, so the Cloudcroft is a skiing resort
Nice.
in New Mexico.
Let's
You know
go.
a local one that is very disappointing? You talking about the list we haven't gotten to? How many distilleries are within?
I know. There's Lockwood down in Richardson.
There's one in Valley View, right off of 35. I go there on my motorcycle, right next to my donut shop.
Right.
What really?
There's Oak and
We
Eden.
need to write down. We need to do our own little Texas trail, not a bourbon. Well, Texas bourbon trail. and a whiskey trail.
Oh my God! I want to change the subject a little bit because
A Friday afternoon, we
need
can
to bring
totally do
up.
that.
Let's do it.
This is kind of aimless.
It's not
chipping
aimless.
away at this. No, it's not. There is an in game for it, but I want to kind of change gears a little bit and not necessarily talk about politics, but I want to talk about some fun things that happen.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you had mentioned it's going to be fruitless, but DeSantis decided he wanted to take some of the immigrants down to the Martha Vineyards.
Fly them.
Yeah. Well.
2 plane loads full.
Yeah, and dropped them off.
I thought it ended up being like 50 people.
It's 48.
Yeah. So I mean,
that must be
they
so
lost
overwhelming.
Their shit, and
So
they're just saying, well,
overwhelming.
we're not prepared for this. Blah blah blah. And now it turns out that some of those folks that are on that plane are trying to sue DeSantis for something.
Okay, first off, did you see the Tucker special? I didn't. I read about it. I didn't see it. They immediately moved. They bust them to a army base.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you read about that?
Yeah, they bust them the next day.
They bust them to an army base on Martha's Vineyard.
Well, it's in Cape Cod, I think.
Right.
area.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, the next day.
So what are the grounds of the suing part? You had mentioned that they're suing.
The lawsuit?
Yeah. What was the lawsuit over?
Well, I actually didn't read the details of why they're suing, but okay.
Someone got to him and says, "You need if I'll give you lots of money if you cut this
This
suit."
was kidnapping.
I didn't want to go here.
They all agreed.
I didn't agree to
there.
go here.
Well, that's what he said. That's what DeSantis
Well, they
came
didn't
back.
agree to go to the fort.
Well, DeSantis countered and said they all signed a waiver form. Sorry, or a form, or
Right.
waiver form.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, it's going nowhere. But that's what they're trying. Gavin Newsom. Oh, this is kidnapping. We should. The DOJ.
Well, they didn't know what they were
Gavin
signing.
Newsom's
Yeah, the
an
DOJ.
idiot.
They're here.
It was in Spanish.
They're here
But
illegally.
well, I'll tell you what. Here another. This is huge. This huge benchmark. We had Queen Elizabeth die.
Am I the only one that's thinking the coverage of this is just a little trying?
Oh, it is. You know what? I watched. Was it yesterday when I was eating my breakfast? I watched the. They've had 10 days of mourning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which ended yesterday.
But they were fucking walking, and then
Well, that's what I watched. I watched
God
the end
damn,
of that yesterday. The whole parade. I think they said it was miles,
It's
like
such
20
a
miles
beatdown.
from where they wherever she was in rest. And
What do they call that?
laying in rest, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
Yeah.
then people just walk by and look at her coffin,
Right.
They throw flowers at her if
laying
you
in
make
wait
it
or
over.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then they bus her over to or hearse whatever, very slow, and they're walking and they have all the.
They walk behind it.
No,
No, they're all around it.
They're all around.
There's a
it.
huge parade,
Oh my god.
and they
Yeah,
have
there's a row of guys on the right and a row of guys on the left.
and they have people
I
in
didn't see
front.
any women.
They have
Very
people
sexist.
people in front. The house workers
The house workers.
were invited to walk. So they're talking about some of them, the pages, the dresser, and this
Right.
person and that person. They were all
I
part
was
of this.
the royal doucher.
And then they had the guy with the red and the big black hats, the people that guard Westminster.
Yeah, they're they're army people.
Yeah, they had them up and down, and horses, and all this regalia, and all these crazy costumes.
I'm the royal court.
So is it like
soaker.
the Egyptians when the pharaoh dies, they kill all the servants and bury him with them?
No,
I don't
believe
think
they're
they
gonna
did
do
that.
So anyway,
They
I
don't
watched.
do that in the British monarchy.
I watched about a half hour of this. It was at the very end.
It was
and-
a lot. I had to.
It's too
turn it
much.
off,
It was. It was.
And then we flew our flags at half mast. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
for how long? I mean,
they're still at half mast.
but I don't have a problem with that because, and here's my
we're
logic.
being nice. I get it.
Because
Well,
what she did for us
she
on
was
9/11,
awesome. Yes, she was awesome.
she didn't have to do that. She broke a 600-year-old
600
Yeah.
years played our national anthem,
yeah.
on her grounds.
and she was a lovely lady.
right. So I don't have a problem with
70
that.
years of
Very old school. So she
She's
was
very,
not
awesome.
she's very traditional,
unable
very formal.
to take on. Look, if you want to really dig into it,
Have you
I
guys
mean,
seen the clown?
she had some issues
clown?
with.
Did you
with-
watch the clown?
Do you remember when King Charles
German?
and
don't know.
when
Kind
they
of.
first met Lady Diane, and there was a little bit of drama between the Queen and
a lot
Lady
of drama.
Diana.
They treated her like a commoner.
It was horrible. So from that perspective, I'm kind of like, you were kind of a piece of shit to
Well,
Lady Di.
I don't know if it was her,
dude.
There's so many more people before it ever even gets to the Queen.
Shit rolls downhill, and it had to be the Queen.
Well, I watched The Crown, and I thought she was a lovely little lady.
In addition to that, there was a lot of weird sexual stuff going on in that damn.
No, just Prince Andrew, Epstein.
Well, whatever, man. There was a lot of stuff going on.
What other stuff?
I mean, you had a lady
incestual.
Die. Yeah.
Sexual.
Charles had his own thing going on.
Well, with Camilla.
And then Camilla.
That's her name.
Camilla, yeah.
Camilla.
Green.
Oh.
Not
and
Camilla.
then you had Lady Di.
Queen
that
Regent.
was, in fact, some of the stuff is kind of funny because they pull up pictures where Lady Di was taking lessons riding the horse, and then you have the horse trainer, and you compare it to Prince Harry,
yeah.
and then you have the horse trainer, and they look like carbon copies. Like that could have actually been her son.
Oh, yeah.
As
a matter of fact, they allude to that.
Well,
Yes.
there's a lot of weird shit going on. So there's a lot of weird stuff that happens behind the scenes, and the fact that how Lady Diana died, a lot of people are like, well, is that a conspiracy? Was the Queen trying to kill her? But no, that wasn't. Or was it? The fact is that the guy that was driving the car was drunk. 1, 2, they're being chased by a bunch of paparazzi.
Do we know that for sure? Was the driver drunk?
I haven't heard that.
No, yeah,
No, I never heard that.
I heard it.
The only thing I heard was she was not wearing a seatbelt.
Well, I mean, they're in a limo. I mean, is that normal for people in a limo? It's almost like a tour bus.
Well, I just read.
How many people in a tour bus don't wear a seatbelt?
Well, I just read an article where her normal security guy did not ride with her for some reason. Mm-hmm. And he goes, the reason she died is because she didn't wear her seatbelt. Whenever I rode with her, I forced her to wear the seatbelt.
So that's heartbreaking.
So the Princess Diana's chauffeur...
She's such a lovely lady, too.
The Princess Diana's chauffeur was drunk driving on the night of her death.
Oh, that sucks.
So he had he was... But I think there was some sort of relationship between the two as well. So
not the driver.
I believe there was.
Oh, she was.
No, she was with
her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was that where? Because she left the hotel. Where
he was
the
with a billionaire boyfriend.
Oh,
some Saudi Arabian or Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah, that he owns Harrods.
Oh. Well, that nice. It's just you see. I mean, I'm trying to build up a history of
weirdness. Of weirdness, of drama.
Just and then you got look. I don't really have a whole lot of fantastic things to say about Queen Elizabeth. I mean, first of all, what is her last name?
Elizabeth. First name Queen.
Do you know her last name?
Samson.
It was Samson.
Are you trying to tell me I've stumped Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know her last name.
What the hell?
Why would I know her last name?
Yeah, we would.
It's she's been a queen for almost a century.
She's not my queen.
Yeah, Johnson.
We fought that. We won that battle.
Oh, Smith. That's my final answer.
Her last name is Windsor. Yeah, but it's just
Windsor Castle.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, kind of
Elizabeth Windsor.
That's her last name. So it's amazing how many people don't even know the Queen's last name.
I didn't know she had a last name.
She doesn't need it. Does Cher? What is Cher's last name?
Windsor.
Bono.
She was never married. Bono.
What is Madonna's last name?
Ooh, I used to know this. Well, Madonna's not her real name.
What is Bono's last name or Bono's last name?
Look, this isn't a pseudonym, all right? She's the fucking queen.
Yeah,
well, no, she goes by one name.
You're trying to justify the fact that you had no idea that Queen Elizabeth's last name was Windsor, and I find that appalling.
Now that he said that,
I find that appalling, Jeff. I did. That's ridiculous.
Now that he shared her last name was Windsor,
exactly.
I knew that.
Don't squirm your way out of this. You should have known that.
No, there's lots of people who go by one name.
You know what? I don't want to get into a huge fight here, but
I think
so
Queen Elizabeth
known
can do that.
You got other people that totally aren't in queue with the spirit of what's going on the funeral day of Queen Elizabeth. There's a funeral day. You have Don Lemon. And he's interviewing.
He got demoted, and he's like,
I got promoted.
So
I was totally on board.
Don Lemon tells a royal commentator, Hillary Fortwich, the royal family should pay reparations. And
this is Don Lemon saying this.
Don Lemon.
Here's what he says.
Oh, she was a beautiful young woman.
Well, this is coming when there's all of this wealth, and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24
And she's just
billion
like, hook,
here
line,
and
and
there,
sinker.
500 million
I
there.
got him.
Some
For
people want to be paid back,
colonialism.
and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Oh, my God.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And when across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
She made him look like a fucking fool.
It's an interesting discussion, Hillary. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll continue to discuss.
And thank you so much for joining the show. We're going to move on now.
He had no comeback.
He got his ass kicked.
His mind was just going, oh, shit.
Oh, you know what his mind was you assholes brought this woman on this show and made me look bad.
Correct. I bet his producer to zero was like, you need to get rid of her. Get rid
of her right now. And I cannot believe you brought her on here.
Right.
Don't you ever do that again. I'm going to
get. You only need to find the people that float the narrative.
That happens again, I'm going to get moved to the morning show.
Well, I tell you what, it gave me, it gave me great joy to see that, just because he's so.
He's such a douchebag.
He's very pompous.
That whole campaign for the reparations, it just got diffused right there. And it's just like, who pays for those reparations? In my opinion, I mean, there's a little bit more to that. They forget the fact that we had a whole show, about a third of it. We talked about the Barbary Pirates and the history of what actually happened and how the Barbary Pirates were actually stealing white folk.
Right.
And they were North Africans, right?
They're from Turkey and the Middle East, the Barbary Pirates. And then you have we had a conversation in our house. We got a huge argument over the Cowboys and Indians theme for our Halloween party. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. Why is there something? It's like, well, maybe we'll have a pirateer party. I was like, you should be more offended on a pirateer party than you would a Cowboys and Indians.
Why are you glamorizing like the most violent,
oh my God, the Barbary Pirates
people ever.
Were the worst on the planet. They traveled all up and down the coasts, all the way into the Scandinavian area, and plucking out people at all the coast cities. The small little villages, they go out there and pull a bunch of blondes from Sweden, pull them on the boat, they bring them down. They bring a bunch because those folks sell on the slave markets.
Right.
When they had, let's say you have a catalog and you have on there Swedish blonde blue-eyed girls.
Well, hold on. Where are you selling them to?
So first of all, you got to take all these slaves back to northern Africa, which was basically the main distribution area.
Right.
So you go up and down, and that's what the Barbary Pirates are doing. They weren't bringing black slaves up and down the coasts of the United Kingdom and the Scandinavian areas. They were bringing white folk down, and they were selling them.
It's no different than human trafficking today, sadly enough.
I
just can't believe that.
Off the boats.
Yeah.
So they would have wealthy people that own boats, and they would be out there just playing and doing whatever, and the Barbary Pirates would come up, and they'd take all the people off the boat, put them on their boat, and
sell them.
Yeah, basically sell them. And for this huge slaves market.
Well, that's going on today.
Today.
Maybe not
it
quite.
is.
It's unbelievable.
The whole slave market.
That's what Epstein was all about.
Well,
he would consort with billionaires and super rich people, and they would tell him, "What's your sexual fantasy?" I would like to be with a virgin who is like that color, that size. Go find me one.
Well, my son and his girlfriend, mainly my son has said this. that the mall by us is a big hub where a lot of girls go missing.
Unbelievable.
He does not
by us.
He does not want Camden to go by herself there. That's what he told me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's
That is shocking.
Well, think about it.
It's
Think
not.
about the girls that go there.
Oh, they cruise the mall all the time.
Yeah.
They peruse them all at 13, 14, 15 years old, and those
why
guys
wouldn't
are.
we hear about this? Why
I don't know.
Why wouldn't parents be warned about this? Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
I have a couple policeman friends. I'm going to ask them.
Ask him. See if it's right. This is
I am
coming from
I am going to 100% ask about this.
Coming
because
from my 20-year-old son. So
But
take
just
that for what
said
it is.
rumors of sex trafficking at the Stonebriar Mall are false.
That's unbelievable.
So the Frisco police said there's no evidence in support of viral social media post falsely claiming the Stonebriar Mall is number one for sex trafficking.
Well, that's a little bit of a relief.
All right.
Now, according to the Post, scheme at the Frisco Mall involves a senior citizen asking teenagers to help find her car. All right. Well, you know what, though? It doesn't really matter because there are
we know
people,
that happens.
It happens.
there are people that
We know it
disappear all the
happens.
time, and they're weirdos that hunt down folks.
Just
and-
recently, a woman was with a girl was with her father at a Dallas Mavericks game,
You're right.
and then at the end of the game, like he was waiting for her and never came back, and the game ended, and the whole entire arena emptied, and she was not there, and she had been sexually trapped. She had been human trafficked, and
They found her though, right?
Somehow they
Up
found
in
her.
Oklahoma.
Yes, and there was something weird about it because she walked with the guy out. But you know what they say? They're like, hey, if they know the father's name, hey, your dad, Andre. Your dad, Andre, had to go outside because of something. He needs you to meet you out there. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, shit, okay. I thought my dad was in the game. Okay, oh, yeah, I'll go with you. So you never really know what's going on, but they kind of painted it to where something was...
Like she knew this person.
Yes, like something
It's an inside
consensual
deal.
about it, but I don't know. Awful.
I don't know. It scares me. Even when my boys were small and they walked everywhere, right? Schools, always in the back of your mind is can someone drive by and snatch them? Of course.
Yeah,
know.
they can.
They totally can.
Is that more prevalent today than when we were kids?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Internet.
What?
Internet.
Just because it's easier to, like
There's-
the dark web.
There's more people asking for it. There's more
Right.
people that can be connected for it, so there's a higher
Yeah,
demand.
but the demand,
Higher demand. That's
the-
what
the
it. That's
demand
it.
for it
Boils down to
is-
higher demand.
But you can get this is the thing about China that's like most upsetting is that they are harvesting humans.
Organs.
Well, they're humans, yeah, for organs as
Organs
well.
too.
Yeah. They literally, I mean, China, they're disgusting.
Totally. Totally.
It's just like
100%.
they've got these people that are in cages and they don't give a shit. But I don't know. There's all kinds
It's
of
horrible.
ugliness everywhere. And I don't want to shed a whole lot of light on here. I would be interested to find out is there? It said there was no truth to that.
Yeah, that's
Frisco
a
Mall
relief.
thing,
That's
yeah.
a relief. That's a
But
relief.
it happens. I mean, there are all kinds of things that go on. There are teens that are going to high school where you have a female that breaks up with another person, and then they go out with another one, and then they collude to kill the other one. There's all kinds of ugliness going on.
That's been going on for a long time, though.
Yeah, and the thing about
Not
it is
just
that
recently.
you don't hear about it
No,
because
you don't.
because
Like
the
Mary
technology isn't there.
Buttafuoco. Remember the
Yeah.
Buttafuoco?
Oh yeah.
Is that what her name was? The
Wasn't that the
Long Island Lolita?
two sons?
No, the Long Island Lolita. What was her name?
Buttafuoco.
It was Buttafuoco
Yeah.
and this teenage girl.
But you guys ever get okay? We're talking about police a little bit, but have you guys got police tickets, moving violations before, right?
I've never got a ticket in my life.
So have you ever been
I have.
pulled over?
I'm kidding. Yes, of course. I've gotten traffic tickets.
Well, I'm not talking about getting kicked out of bars. I'm talking about
Oh no, yeah, that happens every week.
so when you get, I mean, what kind of moving violations were when you got pulled over? What was going on?
Let's see. I don't think I've ever gotten pulled over for anything other than speeding.
All right.
Yeah,
What
I
about
got
you?
I got pulled over for speeding, going like 45 and a 35 or something like that.
That's kind of creamy.
speeding. I got pulled over for having no license plate on the front of my car. But it was a warning.
And I also got pulled over.
Me too.
Which this
Yeah.
That's retarded.
there's a couple.
It is retarded.
I've been pulled over a couple times. Been warned. I think once or twice. Once for the registration, but once was we were coming back from a fishing trip, and it was me and 4 of my friends. I was probably 19 or 20, and I had 3 guys in the back and a buddy up front, and they had big blankets on the back, and they had a bunch of beer underneath it.
Oh,
And
great.
I changed lanes. I changed 2 lanes at once. So you're
With
supposed
no
to change
signal.
a lane. You're supposed to establish yourself in a lane.
So he signaled 1 lane,
But I went
and
over
he
2.
did 2.
Really?
Yes, you have to establish
Yeah.
yourself in a lane, and then you make the next one. Well, he pulled me over for that.
What an a-hole. I can't
And he
believe
came
did
up,
that.
and, we were all fine, and we were professional. I wasn't drinking or anything, but we had beers in the back. Underage, and the blankets were all covering everything up, but he didn't see it, so he let me go.
You have any fentanyl in the car?
They
Pounds.
didn't have fentanyl back then, which isn't holding a story by itself.
Right. And then the other time was...
They didn't have fentanyl back then.
I think I may have told you
They
guys
have probably
this.
other stuff that they could
I
have.
may have told you guys this. I worked at McDonald's. Was my first job.
What, that police made you have butt sex?
No.
Oh.
And
Like a human centipede.
I used to close every Friday and Saturday night. So we'd get off at like 2 in the morning, right? And
Was that together with the cop?
No.
Oh, you mean get off work?
Get off
Okay.
work at 2.
Oh, yeah, different kind of get off.
Yeah, 2:30, whenever you're done cleaning up. And one of the guys rode his bike, and I was just like, I'll just pull you on the side of my car.
Yes, you did tell us this story. It's
And I didn't
boneheaded.
get very far. And-
yeah.
But it was all back roads. He was like, I just live in this neighborhood over here. I was like, all right. I was like, just kind of hold on to the side of the car, and I'll take you. Well, lo and behold, a cop was sitting there, and he pulls me over, and he wrote me a ticket for that. So
What did your friend do on the bike? He
He
like
just stood
scamper
there.
off into the woods?
no, he just stood there. I don't remember if he got a ticket or
That's
not.
See,
lame.
I know
he-
I got one.
He probably could have gotten a ticket too.
So have you
could
ever,
have,
you
I
ever
don't
got
know.
pulled over and the cop let you go?
Yes, I've gotten warnings before, but they weren't egregious. It was like my registration was out by a
right.
couple months.
I don't think I've ever gotten pulled over
And then let off.
received a warning.
Never?
You don't show your cleavage?
That's not true. I think one. I
Do you
shot
like
my
cop all
cleavage.
sorts of attitude? You don't have the right. I have the constitutional right to
Show a little
to-
upper thigh?
I always show
Hold on.
respect.
Does that work?
I think
Does for women.
showing respect to police officers when you get pulled over is paramount.
Of course.
Period.
Oh,
I always
dude.
have.
And
For
I
sure.
think that in I always tell the cop, I was like, hey, look, I have a license to carry, and my gun is here, and thank you for your service, and here are my hands. So,
And look at my thigh.
yeah.
Does he
Well-
put his hand like this as soon as you say I have a gun?
No, they're usually really
I
cool
would.
about that. And
Actually,
and-
they appreciate it, to be
yeah.
honest.
Well, I mean, I tell them because there's one time I didn't tell them.
And they're like,
and
what the
they
hell
were-
is this?
Well, what they said was they were just like, so I see you got a license to carry. So are you carrying your gun right now? I was like, no, I'm not. So,
Did you lie?
well, I wasn't. I didn't have it.
Oh, good.
But there was just like, they were like,
They know. As soon as they run your name,
well,
they probably
as
see
soon
it.
then that's just the thing.
Is that the law?
They had told me, they
like,
said,
do you have to disclose?
no, you do not. But you want to be cool, you need to tell them.
You wanna
Because
be
full
cool.
disclosure is always
Yeah,
the
they're
best
going to
thing.
ask you anyway.
You don't even
And-
need a license anymore, though.
What do you mean?
You don't have to have a license to carry.
Yeah,
anymore.
open carry.
Well, you need a license for a concealed.
No,
No.
Yeah.
not anymore.
Yeah,
No.
well, open carry.
I don't believe
Well,
anymore.
hold on. Well, that may be true in Texas, but my
I
license.
don't think that's true.
My license
I think I'm
goes
right.
to 22 states, and excuse me, those other 22
Correct.
states. You,
Texas,
you
this is Texas.
yeah.
Correct.
So I mean, my license goes on. So it's kind of cool that I can go to 22 other states and have a concealed handgun. So it's not about Texas. It's about my opportunity to carry it other places,
Right.
Right.
and that's
New York?
always good.
Yeah.
New York and Chicago, Los Angeles,
I could not go.
Martha's Vineyard.
That would be great. Well, I took it. I drove to Alabama, but the thing about it is, in New Jersey and New York, you can't have one. But did something just happen recently that allows people to take guns into
Yeah, the
New
Supreme
York?
Court just shot down New York's law. Says you're not that you could carry a weapon to protect yourself now.
Yeah.
So
that just devastated the liberals.
Right.
Devastated. They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, did you hear about the congresswoman out of California whose house was robbed, but all they stole was the lockbox with her guns in it?
That's
She had
odd.
she had electronics and jewelry and money all over the place's house, but all they stole was the Brinks locks box with her guns in it.
That's odd.
Yeah.
And what was the?
I don't know. It happened like last week. It's recent. And she's on getting interviews, and she's all smiling and laughing. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You know, that's all they stole."
Right.
What's
that's
going
weird.
on? Are you wanting him to rush it?
No, I was trying to tell him to extend it. We're on a good conversation. Next thing I know, the music popped on.
Well, whatever. We're talking about dudes like us moments. So what is that bitch's name?
That's what this means. That means bring it out, draw it out.
I don't know.
We need to work over hand signals.
California Congresswoman.
You know what? Look, it's we had a week off. Paul was out in Chicago playing with the Blackhawks.
Wearing body armor.
Did you get any wieners? Chicago wieners?
No wiener.
He's hanging out with the Blackhawks. Blackhawks.
Black hot hawks.
Any good food?
Well, we went to really nice restaurants because, company paying for it type of thing. Good steakhouse, yeah.
I'm trying to sell your product.
Did you go to Allen Brothers? Is that what the big one is up there?
No, we didn't go to that.
Well, it sounds like we have, as dudes like us, a lot of things to think about because we have this bucket list that we really need to survey and take into consideration. Plus, we have our own personal bucket list of getting products kicked out the door with dudes like us wood products.
Yes, we do.
They got a CNC machine we invested highly in. Lots of things. My suggestion, 15-minute weekly meeting. That's,
Yeah, just to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And maybe sneak in some breakfast.
We had our second half of bourbon. We're going to get rid of this. Clyde's Maids. It was a 5-year special reserve.
It was a red label.
It was the red label, in case you guys are wondering. That was our
tasty.
second half bourbon.
Really good.
Extremely tasty, and it's one we've already had, but we drank it again so that we can put it into our infinity bottle so that we can auction it off for the highest bid for dudes like us coming up. Hey, look, it's September 20. Dudes like us. I'm Sean.
I am Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
Special shout out to our producer, Mr. Austin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.